all ages, where hopium collides with common sense. It's your boy, CryptoKeeper. And as always, Miguel, the BlockchainCrusader. What's going on, Miguel?
What's up, dude? How's it going?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. So Friday nights, usually we either, once a month we have the poker game, right? Or a lot of times we're not on here live. So what's on the podium this evening? Why are we going live this evening?
We had to have a meeting tonight, right? We had to have a meeting. Biden, right?
Okay.
He's coming after stablecoins, right? The US dollar is being threatened by stablecoins, and there are passing regulations to get this thing under control. And we're going to discuss what's going on with that.
Wow, wow, wow.
And right after that, we got DeFi, bro. DeFi is coming after the banks, and the banks are feeling the pain. So, all these guys are trying to come together, try to take control of DeFi, try to take control of stablecoins, and we're going to be covering all the juicy details.
All right. Well, grab your baseball bats because this might be a hitter. All right. Let me. I actually didn't have this. Didn't have the screen share pulled up here. So let me, Miguel. While I pull this up on the screen share, if you are not subscribed, Debate Crypto, definitely smash that subscribe button before you smash up the likes. If you're in the live chat, X out of the live chat and. Excuse me, and then like the stream. We really appreciate it. And then if you really want to get saucy, share the stream with one of your friends if you guys actually enjoy. I said actually, like you should. If you guys enjoy the streams as much as we do, you should definitely share that with a friend.
You got the links. All right, here we go.
Let's get after it here. Let me zoom in a little bit here, Miguel. Okay, I'm going to read this. So, White House considering executive order on crypto oversight. The order would include Treasury Department, Commerce Department, National Science Foundation, and National Security Agents. There's your boy, Sleepy Joe. All right. The U.S. government may expand its efforts to study and regulate the roughly $2 trillion digital asset sector. The Biden administration is considering an executive order for federal agencies which would require them to study the crypto industry and provide recommendations on their oversight, Bloomberg reported Friday, citing unnamed sources. According to the report, the order would include the Treasury Department, Commerce Department, National Science Foundation, and National Security Agencies. In addition to asking agencies to study different aspects of the industry, the order would, quote, clarify the responsibilities different agencies have around crypto and blockchain. Requests for comment sent to the White House, the CFTC, and the Securities and Exchange Commission were not immediately returned. The Treasury Department declined to comment. Miguel, before I go further into the article, talk to me about what this headline and these first couple paragraphs scream to you as you listen.
So I'm not gonna lie, I had a Biden moment, right, where I kind of just like, and where am I? What's going on?
A Biden moment.
The hairs of my legs are spiking up, and I need to push them down. What are we talking about? Dollar? Yeah. No bueno. I mean, good dollar good. Stable bad. I mean, US dollar is stable, but the stable coin is bad. Stable coin is bad. So yeah, man. I think it's a lot of words being said here. Not a lot of anything behind it, right? It's just pretty much them trying to put some type of fear into, like, hey, well, if we can't cash out into stable coins, if stable coins are going to be coming under attack, like that's gonna really push a lot of negative sentiment into the markets. And maybe as a beginner, be like, well, maybe I don't want to get involved with this thing just yet, right? The government is now talking about stable coins, and I hear stable coins are a big thing in the crypto markets. So maybe they're going to come after Bitcoin, or maybe they're going to come after Ethereum and so on. So maybe I'll just gonna stay back and stay out of this. But yeah, there's nothing big in there. Did you see anything big in there that you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to touch on a couple of things. So it says that the Biden administration has ramped up the U.S. government's work around the U.S. government's work around crypto in recent months. In September, the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctioned a crypto exchange in a first as part of its response to a spate of ransomware attacks. It then goes down further to say the Federal Reserve, the U.S. central bank, is also set to issue reports on stablecoins, digital asset tokens whose values are pegged to another asset, such as U.S. dollars, and central bank digital currencies. Here's what I think. I think that anytime anyone is trying to make money off of anything other than the US dollar, I think that these banks start to get scared. Here's what I think. I was talking to my wife about this earlier. My wife and I were talking, and I've explained the idea of stablecoins to her. My wife is not, she loves the fact that we've got a bunch of crypto and understands the value in it, but doesn't truly understand it, right? And so I was explaining to her the idea of stablecoins, and she really did seem to understand it. And she said, "Well, why would you be holding money in a regular bank account then?" And I was like, bingo.
Exactly.
And there it is. So I said, you asked the question, right? There it is. Someone new that's just trying to figure this out says, well, wait a minute. If that's the case, if you have an asset that's stable that you can actually get returns on versus the 0.01% that your bank's going to give, why would you do it? And so, yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's what's going on here. The facts are our country is run, whether we like to admit this or not, our country is run by the legacy financial system. The banks run our country. When the Lehman Brothers went under in 2008, that was a massive deal. When all these banks were the ones that got bailed out, because at the end of the day, guess what? That's who runs our country, whether we like to admit it or not. So now we have an invader on basically coming in on their quote foreign soil on their territory, right?
We have an asset on their turf, right? It's a turf war right now.
Absolutely. We have an asset that says, hey, look, by the way, I'm going to stay worth $1, right? And oh yeah, we've got places that can give you 4, 5, 6, 8, 12, 20% for that asset. Where do you once people start to really understand what's in front of them and truly begin to actually trust these smart contracts and trust these yields that we can get off these stable coins, if the banks don't do something now, if our government doesn't do something now, these banks are in trouble. Because the moment that this becomes the norm and the banks aren't doing anything to get on board, they're screwed. And what I think is going to happen here, Miguel, I think the regulations are going to get thrown out that if you are pushing out stable coins, they've talked about this, you are going to be considered a bank, right?
Yes.
And so they're going to be putting banking regulations on these stable coins. Well, where does that actually lead? I'll tell you where I think it leads. I think it leads to our current legacy financial system saying, hey, we will give you safe haven and safe harbor of your stable coins. We will actually allow you to hold stable coins in our bank. Oh, how freaking nice of you. And then let me tell you what they're going to do. They might even give you 1%, 2%, 3%, only because they have to, because other competitors are offering more. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to regulate it so that they are giving you that. And then guess what? I truly believe this. I truly believe that they are going to, like they always have, find other avenues to gain more yield on those stable coins, right? That we are currently taking advantage of. I think they are going to jump in, take advantage of those same those same
platforms, the same
platforms. And then guess what? Now they are once again the middleman. And at the end of the day, the whole point of these stable coins and decentralized finance as a whole is to get these banks out of the way, and they keep injecting themselves into our lives. And at the end of the day, I think it stinks.
Yeah, I definitely believe that 100% right. I believe that is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to try to find a way to become relevant and turn the tables and say, well, look at us. We used to give you 0.0 whatever percent, but now we're going to give you 2. We're going to sometimes we're going to, on a special day, we're going to run a special. We're going to give you 3% if you sign up and open a bank account with us now. So come on in. We're awesome. We're hip. We're crypto. We're all about it. But keep your stuff with us, because they're going to then be doing that same thing with their stable coins and putting it on whatever platform that they either create or so on to get their 8 to 12% easy on stable coins, right? I wouldn't be surprised that they're going to start creating their own bank coins.
Yeah, no
We
doubt.
saw some of that in 2018, right? 2019, these bank coins coming out. JP Morgan wanted to create its own bank coin. And why? It's for that purpose, right? People were like, wait a minute, why would anybody want a bank coin? Who's going to use that? They're going to use it. They're going to create some type of platform where they themselves, the banks alone, have access to, and they're getting a bunch of yield from that stable coin that you are giving them, right? You're parking their money in their banks, and they're giving you maybe 2 to 3, or they're getting maybe 8 to 12 on it. Once again, making your money work for them and making money for themselves off of your backs and giving you crumbs, right? Because they're offering you. Go ahead.
No, continue.
They're offering you safety. They're offering you custody, right? If our bank gets hacked, we will protect you. We will make sure your money's here. Don't have to worry about your keys. Don't have to worry about losing your money. If we get hacked, we're backed. We're backed. We're insured. We're gonna give you your money back. And that false sense of security is gonna get people to jump on there for 2 to 3% when they themselves could be getting 8 to 12%. And to another point that you said earlier about once people start getting to trust these smart contracts, it's not about trust. It's about people getting educated. So when they get educated, they understand what it is. Because when you don't understand something, you don't trust it, right? But it's not because there's something wrong with it. It's just you yourself don't have the education to understand what's really happening. Once you get educated, you're like, wait a minute, what have I been doing in my life this whole time? What have I been thinking? I've been wasting time not being educated about this. Where have I been? And then they jump in, right? Anybody that reads the Bitcoin standard doesn't walk away saying, whoa, what a load of crap that was.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. What a waste of time that was. Man, I wish I would have never read that book. If you're saying that, it's because you're now seeing the nightmares and you're like, oh man, I've just been red pilled, right? I just been awakened from the matrix. And now I see the reality that I've been living in this whole time. And these machines have been controlling my world and putting me in this simulation, making me believe that the US dollar is where I should be, and I should be parking my money in a bank account and save, lower my spending so I can save more. Yet they're devaluing your dollar constantly, and your spending is actually your savings is actually being stolen from you through an invisible tax that nobody foresees. And you're never gonna get rich working hard. You're never going to get rich saving money. And it's not even about being rich. It's about being financially free. You're never going to get freedom that way. Never. You're never going to get freedom by following the one running the system. That's just not the way it's going to work.
Yeah, that's a great point. At the end of the day, these banks are scrambling. They are scrambling to catch up. They are scrambling to understand. They are scrambling to regulate. They are scrambling. And it is absolutely necessary for them to position themselves where I think at this point they know that the crypto's not going anywhere, right? It's here to stay. And so now that they know that, now it's like, okay, how do we best get positioned to take advantage of what we have at stake here, to take advantage of what these people are trying to do in this digital revolution that we call cryptocurrency and crypto assets? And so that actually leads me into this next article. This one's talking about DeFi. And you guys know, if you guys have followed myself and or Miguel for any sort of time, right? You know that we love DeFi. We want to take out the middleman. We just absolutely believe that there is no reason on God's green earth that if the middleman's going to be there, I understand we live in a capitalistic society, but let's at least give some sort of advantage to, or maybe not even call it an advantage. Let's at least give something to the people that are working so hard to put their money in these savings accounts. Like, check it out. We have been programmed and taught since we were little. How do you get rich? You save. How do you get wealthy? You save. Well, Miguel, that's not at all the truth at all, right? What do we do once we get wealthy? Oh, wait a minute. Well, nobody quote unquote was ever taught that. Well, of course they weren't, because that was not what they're supposed to be. That is not what we are supposed to be indoctrinated. We are supposed to be indoctrinated to work our butts off,
Yep.
save, and
Worker
buy a
bees.
house and buy cars and literally live in debt. To who? To the banks, right?
Yep.
And these banks are the
Consume.
ones that are giving the mortgages. These banks are the ones that we have, college loans, college debt for. These banks are the ones that all of these car notes are to. Banks. They make interest on everything. Also, while all that's happening at the same time, right? We are having that invisible tax that you talk about, which is inflation. So all the way around, saving is not the answer. It's actually gaining, appreciating assets over an amount of time to then ultimately borrow against. But that is a whole nother topic. However, it brings me to this. DeFi projects, TVL, which for those of you learning, TVL, when you ever see that, that's total value locked. So DeFi projects, TVL, rises to $210 billion. So this is talking about DeFi. While the entire crypto industry is on a more recent bull run, analysts have identified that the sector is experiencing more influx of funds. Available information on DeFi has shown that the decentralized finance industry has reached a new all-time high of $210 billion in total value locked. This growth was achieved thanks to the many projects tied to it. For example, in recent history, DeFi projects like Phantom and AnySwap have seen their TVL rise by 140% and 114% growth, respectively. Notably, the TVL share the popular DeFi projects like Curve, Aave, MakerDAO, and unsurprisingly, the largest contributors to the growth of the sector. Collectively, these projects hold around $43 billion of TVL, or total value locked, representing nearly 1/4 of the entire DeFi industry. While the entire crypto industry is on a more recent bull run, analysts have identified that the sector is experiencing a more influx, blah, 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 blah. I just totally stumbled all over that because I felt like I was reading the same exact thing that
in different words.
Yeah. So at the very start, they were talking. So at any event, check this out. So DeFi, let's talk about DeFi. Decentralized finance does exactly what we were talking about earlier. It takes the bank out of being the middle, right? It takes the middleman out of the equation. Okay. So what does that do? That gives the layperson, myself, Miguel, you want to flop that? You don't need to, there we go. Sorry, I would much rather see my beautiful face on here than
that article was a big nothing burger, dude. A lot of big words, a lot of confusion, but not really anything being said there.
And so what DeFi does is it allows the common man, myself, Miguel, all of you watching, it allows all of us to be able to inject ourselves into a protocol where we can actually earn money and earn what we call yield. There is no yield as it relates to banking. If you can have absolute disgusting amounts of money in savings accounts and you're getting 0.01% interest on them, right? It's disgusting and it's wrong. And so DeFi allows us to actually earn yield and earn 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 20% sometimes, right? Decentralized finance takes out that middleman. It's super important. And we have what's called smart contracts that come into play. A smart contract is basically a computer code telling another computer what to execute and how to execute on a contract. So very simply, it's one computer telling another computer or a person, hey, when this happens, then do this, right? If this, then that. And so it takes the need for things like credit scores to matter, because guess what? You put up some collateral. The collateral then is there to back the loan. And then Joe Schmo can put up that money through a smart contract. Then Billy Joe can then take a loan off of Joe Schmo's smart contract money that he put in there. And then they both benefit from the same thing. And guess who doesn't benefit? I'll finish with this. The freaking bank. So I love DeFi. I'm all about it, Miguel. I love DeFi. Thoughts?
Yeah, dude. So thoughts about DeFi, right? Perfect example right here is we have somebody in the chat saying crypto toe. Right. Let me close this article down. Says I need ways to avoid taxes. Any suggestions? Right. And avoiding taxes, you hear that word and you say, whoa, avoiding taxes. What kind of sketchy stuff is this guy trying to do? But avoiding taxes is actually in the tax code. Like it's part of the tax code, right? The government doesn't want rich people paying taxes. They give them all types of tax breaks, and the rich understand how to avoid taxes. And the first thing is debt, loans. The one thing they tell you to be afraid of, be terrified of loans, be terrified of debt. Don't get involved with that.
True. That's so true.
Yet they're the first ones eating it all up. They're like, give me all the debt you can give me, right? The more debt, the better, because I'm going to be paying zero taxes on that, baby. And I'm going to be investing all that money and be making even more money off of that. So I like I said to Crypto Toe, the way to avoid capital gains tax, right, is through taking out loans. How do you take out loans? DeFi, right? How do you do that? Right? There's platforms like BlockFi. There's platforms like Celsius where you put up collateral, right? Let's say Bitcoin in this example, you put your Bitcoin up as collateral. One Bitcoin, you get 25% value of that Bitcoin for 1% interest rate on Celsius network. Yep. Right. Yep. This is one of the things that we covered in the Debate Crypto Academy's first seminar was exit strategies. And one of the exit strategies is taking out loans, right? We went way more into depth than just that one statement that I said. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in that kind of education, debatecrypto.academy is where you're going to find it. So don't be afraid of avoiding taxes. Meanwhile, you're doing it legally. Don't try to play smart and do it illegally because they're going to get you.
Tell me, so Miguel, check this out. You said something a few minutes ago that just really resonated with me, and I didn't recognize it until you just said it, although I already knew this. So we were taught as kids to be scared of debt. We were taught, and I know, Miguel, you probably were taught the exact same thing. Stay out of debt, stay out of debt, stay out of debt, to the point where I'm actually very proud of the fact that I don't have debt besides my mortgage and car, right? Like our cars and our mortgage is the only debt that we hold, which, hey, side note, it is a good thing to not have debt, right?
But to not have personal debt, to not have personal debt,
exactly.
Credit card debt, right? That kind of debt.
Things like that. That type of stuff does not help at all. But so what we're talking about here, just to be clear, we're talking about debts on appreciating assets. So that's taking debt on money that we either have an interest rate that we can produce a yield more than the interest rate that we're being charged, or on something like real estate, something that is going to appreciate and appreciate and appreciate. We're not talking about, taking out a bunch of credit card debt. Absolutely not. That is not the way. That is not going to help anything. That's not going to do what you want it to do by a long shot. This is all about taking loans on appreciating assets, taking loans on something that I'm able to turn around and make some yield on, which is all about DeFi, decentralized finance. That's where it's at, man.
Yeah, dude. Decentralized finance is the future for the average man to find financial freedom. You're cutting out the middleman. You're not getting hit with these crazy loan terms, and you're putting up your own collateral, your own crypto assets to put out a loan. You can also gain money by you providing liquidity to the market, right? For those loans, you're getting paid interest on it. Right. So it's just a win-win on both sides, whether you need to borrow or you have the capability of lending because you're a long-term investor. And there's no bank in the middle, taking the gigantic amount of profit off of it and just leaving crumbs for you. The majority is for you. The minority is for the protocol, for the network to sustain itself and keep growing. Dude, we have MJ Stables in
I was
the
about
chat
to say,
here.
I was going to check. I wanted to say, MJ, so you said you really need to educate yourself more. Let me touch on that real quick. I'm going to tell you something that's going to sound like a saying. It's going to sound like what do you get in the
sales pitch?
It's going to sound like a fortune cookie.
Oh, fortune.
Right? Okay, this is going to sound like a fortune cookie, but this is so true, right? Truly being educated isn't being told what to think. It's being taught what to think. It's being taught how to think. And so part of what we are talking about here, you don't know what you don't know, right? But once you do know, you can't take that back. And so we are introducing these ideas to you right now. We are introducing ideas of a newfound freedom. And that newfound freedom comes as it relates to crypto and crypto assets and decentralized finance. These are things that you now have been introduced to. So we're not telling you what to believe. We're telling you how to start to believe it. And when I say how to believe it, I'm trying to say, hey, look, you've got to look further into this. Miguel held up the Bitcoin standard. And actually, I want to show you something. What do you know? The Bitcoin standard, right? Yeah, I've got it right behind me, right? And so at the end of the day, we do believe in education. And it's not because we just need to be this super brainiac. It's because we need to have the understanding and the ability to understand that there are different ways, and many different ways, to earn income, to earn yield, to earn passive income, to earn. But we weren't taught that. We were taught debt is bad. We were taught that you need to have a house and cars and and that you just save. Well, guys, it's been proven that saving in an account right now, you are actually net losing 5% a year. So that savings account that you are, quote, saving, you are literally losing money as it sits there and allowing that stupid bank to make money on your money that you're losing on. And I'm tired of it. DeFi is the way to go. I'm all about
100% right. We're taught to go find a 9-to-5 job, whether you go to college or not. Get a 9-to-5, go home, pay your bills, work Monday through Friday, relax for 2 days, and get back at it until you die. And that's it. That is what life is for us regular folk. But there is other ways out there for you to break out of this rat race, right? There are ways to become financially free with crypto itself. Imagine being at the beginning of a revolutionary technology that is making life-changing money for people. Imagine letting this opportunity pass you and you being 80 years old and your great grandkids or whatever asking you, hey, grandpa, what were you doing during that time? Weren't you like 20 years old, or weren't you like 30 years old when that was happening? And you're like, you son of a right? Like, what excuse do you have? The only excuse is I was too busy to educate myself. I kept believing what they told me, right? I kept believing what my parents told me. Kept believing what all the mainstream media was saying, that it was bad, that it was scary, that it was evil. And I didn't take the time to educate myself. Didn't take the time to educate myself.
Life is changing. Life is changing. We are here to help, hopefully, educate you. One way or the other, the education needs to happen so that we can help continue to create more freedom. And people find freedom as a result of being able to be financially free, right? That is a huge idea. When you ask people, usually, what is freedom? Almost every time finances come up, right? Almost every time finances, right? And heck yeah. So MJ said, just got the audiobook of Bitcoin Standard. Congrats. That's absolutely a great call. But yeah, so it's always about finances. Well, let us help you get there, right? So make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure you smash the likes. If you guys are looking for more education, if you are looking for more of a game plan, debatecrypto.academy. We will help lead, guide, and direct you. Come check us out, guys. And we just appreciate each and every one of you. Crypto fam, we freaking love you guys. And until next time, hodl.